My guest today is Ayami Hiroshighe, who is a solo mom of a 12-year-old daughter and two bonus children. I'm very excited to talk to you. I am. And thank you for coming on and doing this interview with me.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes. So, my usual first question is, how did you become a solo mom?
So I'm so glad that you came up with the term solo mom because I always say single mom, but I'm like, that's not quite right. But my daughter is turning 12 on Christmas.
Mm.
And her father and I were kind of casually dating, and we accidentally found out we were pregnant.
Okay.
And I kind of thought we were together. He might not have thought so, but we finally split for good about when she was 2. Actually, it's kind of like a teary story because we'd fight a lot, and we had this tumultuous relationship. And actually, one of the big fights that we had, I was crying, and my 2-year-old daughter comes up to me and she wipes away my tears and she's like, "Mommy, don't cry." And that kind of hit home to me, where I was like, I definitely don't want my daughter growing up thinking that the type of relationship that we had is something that should be normal.
Right.
And so I felt that she deserved to have more from me as a parent, and then, as a relationship, either me being in a relationship or not being in a relationship, but definitely not something that's negative. So at about 2, we had broken up a few times already, but I finally was like, okay, my daughter is seeing this. This is affecting her. And so that's kind of how I went down the path of being a solo mom. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And this seems to happen quite a bit. So it seems that the parents are probably not ready for family.
Right. Yeah.
You're in a relationship and you probably haven't even decided where you're going yet. But here comes baby.
Mm-hmm.
And something we now have to focus on baby. And I think that I bring this up because several of the moms I've interviewed have hinted that, after they got pregnant or had the baby, the relationship just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And it would seem to me that it's because nobody was ready for, a family.
Yeah.
But then mom is left with the baby.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Which is,
I can agree with that. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I think definitely we were not ready in any shape, way, or form. But
Yes.
She definitely is like the hugest blessing that I've had. And so, definitely it's good in like very different facets of my life. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. And your daughter is 12, right?
She'll be turning 12 on Christmas this year.
Okay. Oh, wow.
She's like, she's basically a teenager, which has me a little bit panicked.
Oh, Lord, I don't envy you. I'm sorry. Just don't. I have 3 sons and
I know. Yeah, boy moms. So I've heard that boy moms have it when it gets to this stage, that boy moms have it a lot easier. And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, these past 12 years, it's like living with a diva.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes. Okay, so tell me, over the past 12 years, what has been your biggest challenge? And if you have overcome that challenge, what did you do? Walk us through a little bit of how you overcame the challenge.
So I feel like being a solo mom, I've never identified, like I said, with single mom because I'm very, very blessed. I have my mother who's been in our lives, my brother and his wife. So I've kind of had a community. The saying is very true. The whole, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
It's super true. So I've had some really great friends, really great family, along with all of that. So I don't think I'm lacking in that department. But the challenge has been, the nights that we need to do homework. I don't really have someone to divert her to. It's like me, like that show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Like, I am definitely not smarter than a fifth grader in homework aspect. And so sometimes those have had tears. Literal tears on both sides. But, she's in 6th grade now, and I feel like we've gotten a lot better. Homework is still a challenge, fortunately or unfortunately, but we try to work through it.
Yes. Did she fight you?
Yeah, she fights me. We're very different when it comes to academics and homework and doing the work, where me as a child, I would do it quick and just to get it over with. And if I had the whole week's worth in my hands, I would do the whole week in one go, where she will drag her feet to do it, which definitely tries my patience like nothing else. So
I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a challenge, so we're still working through it, but she's a lot better, and I think she's a great student, so I feel like fight me at home, but you do the work at school, and I can't complain about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, she doesn't look old enough to have a 12-year-old. I just can't believe that.
You have someone old enough that got married. I'm like,
oh yeah, thank you.
So congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
That's so
yes,
exciting.
That was real fun. Okay, so I'm sorry. So tell me, how do you practice self-care? How do you take care of yourself? I know you have help. A lot of solo moms don't have help, but you have help. You have the support of your family. But you still need to take care of you.
Yes.
How do you do that? What do you do? Give us some hints where we could do better.
Okay, so like I do have a lot of help, fortunately, but for someone that didn't have help, if you have school-age kids, I've been trying to meditate daily. And, I used to think of meditation as like this, I gotta block out a whole hour. I can't have noise in the background. So if the gardener's going, you make these excuses not to do it, right? Like the gardener's going, so I can't do it until he's gone. If someone's working on my plumbing, I can't do it until he's gone. I've got something due in a half an hour, but I've been doing 5-minute meditations. And I find that those kind of pull me back into the present.
Yes.
Kind of pull me back to where I need to be focused. Cause I've got, you have like all these like 10 million things that I have to do. I have to be done with them in the next hour or two. And I start to kind of panic, and, to the 5 minutes of like breathing and listening to the, prompts kind of helps me bring me back to the present. So self-care doesn't necessarily mean like go get a massage, which if I have time and the money, I go and get a massage.
Right.
But I feel like meditation has really helped to calm my mind and my body. Journaling for at least 10 minutes in the morning to kind of write out. I try to free write. And so I don't have any structure when I'm writing. It just kind of write whatever comes to my mind. At first, if I've taken a break, takes me a while to kind of get into it, but I try to write, I don't want to say force, but I force myself to write like 2 or 3 pages in my journal, and it's short. I mean, it's like a small journal, but writing, helping me reflect on what I'm feeling or thinking or when I want to plan. So there's no like outline for my journal, but I just try to free write. So those 2 things have really helped.
Yes.
Meditation and then self-reflection in my journal. I think those are 2 really big ones for myself.
2 of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yes, I love to journal. I've been doing it since I was a child, and I
Me
just
too.
think, yes,
it's so important.
I find that when stuff's up here, sometimes you get really heady and you're always thinking.
Yeah.
And if I just pour it all out on the pages of the journal, then it up here feels better.
Right. It kind of helps you like put things into perspective.
Yes.
Maybe something wasn't so important, is not as important as maybe your head was thinking about it.
Yes.
Like I know a lot of people run or exercise. I like to exercise. It's great. I try to run and I fail. And I'm not a runner that runs and then kind of like it helps clear the mind.
Right.
I've never gotten that. So for me, writing and meditation are like the top 2 that I kind of Yeah.
Oh.
Especially if I only have like 5 or 10 minutes, right?
Right. Yes.
That's the easiest.
Yes.
And definitely like pen to paper. So I know some people, they'll journal like either on their computer or on their phone. I definitely have to have, because the whole thing from your mind, from your pen to your paper is definitely cathartic.
Yes. I think that makes a difference, actually.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially if you're writing something down that you want to do, like a goal, if you're writing your intentions for 2020, the pen to paper will help bring it to fruition. It's almost like magic, you know?
Yeah. I think there's some kind of mindfulness about journaling, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So tell me, where do you live?
I live, so I just moved. We live in a city called Roland Heights.
Okay.
But basically, if you're not familiar with California, it's Los Angeles. It's kind of the outskirts of Los Angeles County.
Okay.
But it's like this tiny little city in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living?
So I am doing kind of 2 things. So one, I'm the office director for a college admissions consulting company.
Mm-hmm.
So we help students that are trying to get into college, MBA programs, or law school, which is kind of crazy. And that's like the season's right now. So it's like super busy and people are panicking, all of those things. And then I'm also starting to help businesses with like their social media strategy and their overall business strategy. Yeah. Okay. And the main focus is kind of like moms, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And where can we find you?
So my website, which is still in the process, it's always in the process of like being revamped, right? And so I'm always like working on it, but that's where you can find me. It's my first name, Ayami, and my last name, Hiroshighe, put together, no dots or underscores or anything like that. So it's Aya, M as in Mary, HIROSHIGE, G as in George, E as in elephant.com.
Thank you. We'll put that in the show notes so people can click on it and go there.
Very long, but it's my whole name. Like everything, all my social, everything. It's all Ayami Hiroshighe. It's, keep it consistent.
Okay, cool. So now that you've been a solo mom for quite some time, you've had some good experience. What one piece of advice would you give to another solo mom?
So I guess the biggest thing is that no matter how big the tantrum is, however like traumatic that day has gone, like you name it, it's happened. Like my coffee spills and I'm like, but of course, why wouldn't it spill today? Or, your tire gets flat. It's like, take a deep breath. It is just that moment. And tomorrow's a new day. I know that sounds super cliche, but it totally is. And, our kids are worth it. Our kids are super worth it.
Yeah.
And they'll see, all the hard work that you've done.
Yeah.
So you're doing a good job, Mama.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm not quite finished with you. Okay. I wanted to ad lib with you because I've had these structured questions and I wanted to let it go a little freely this time. Okay. So tell me a little bit more of what you want the audience to know about you. I'm just gonna give you a few seconds to just talk.
Okay. So, oh my gosh, all this pressure, right?
Yes, right.
So we all know I'm a solo mom. I have one daughter. She's turning 12. I have actually 2 bonus children, 2 girls, 11 and 8. And so when they're here, the house is full of estrogen.
Oh.
And so that's a challenge in itself. But I love to help other moms, wherever they're at in their life. So if they have babies, it's great. If they've got children my age, that's great. If they've got high schoolers, I love talking to moms that have a little bit older children because I kind of like to see what my future may hold and what I need to be ready for because God knows I'm not ready. And I love helping like small businesses. So if you're just getting started, I love to talk to you, just chit chat about what it is you're looking to do. what goals you might have, especially with the new decade starting in like 2 months, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. What's at the top of your Christmas wish list
Oh
for
God.
you?
Christmas wish list. That is a good one. I don't really have anything like physical, nothing physical, just like want our kids to be happy. We've already kind of started decorating, and since my daughter's birthday falls on Christmas, it's like this huge
Double thing,
countdown till it. So like no pressure or anything.
Yeah.
But she loves it. She thinks everybody decorates for Christmas for her birthday. So yeah, nothing really tangible on my Christmas list. Fortunately or probably unfortunately for my fiance, fortunately for me. But yeah.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you coming, Ayami, and talking to me. I always look forward to these interviews.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And yes. Tell me something nobody knows about you that you want to share.
Oh gosh. Pretty much my life is an open book. It's like, oh my God, she loves dogs. She has kids. I live in California. I do yoga. Something that people don't know about me. I think it's out there, but I'm a vegetarian.
Okay.
And I have been actually this is, I guess, I don't know if it's a little known fact or well-known fact that I am a vegetarian. But I've been a vegetarian since I was about 15, 16.
Oh.
And people are always surprised. Like they kind of know that I'm a vegetarian because I'm a yoga person. They just assume that I am. But that's not really the reason.
Okay.
The real reason I'm a vegetarian is that when I was in high school, I was homeschooled, and we dissected like 30-something animals from like spiders and worms to the big things like turtles, sharks, and pigs. And it super grossed me out. And so that's the real reason why I'm a vegetarian. But I do cook meat. That's like the flip side crazy part of it. Like I don't eat it, but I'll cook it. Yeah. So people don't usually know why I'm a vegetarian. They just think it has something to do with my health and love of animals, which is partially true. But the real reason, it was the whole dissecting like 30-something animals. And
I can see that. Yes.
Yeah.
I loved chemistry but wouldn't go into the lab.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't want to dissect anything. And biology as well. I didn't want to touch. I don't want to see anything messy.
Yeah, but it's crazy because like there's no blood or anything, and you know my parents thought I was going to be some kind of biologist or doctor. Because I did. I loved the class.
Yeah,
I loved biology, but that didn't end up being my path.
Yeah, well, it happens.
Yep.
All right. So tell me, what are your goals and dreams? Like, what's the big thing you want out of life for you? Don't be a mom.
I know, right? Like, once you're a mom, like that's like your title, right? Like mom. But I definitely have always had this passion for helping people. And so kind of my big dream, actually for the past probably 5 or 6 years, I've wanted to host a really big like conference. And I've swirled around some ideas of what the conference would kind of entail. And I know it'll take at least 6 months to kind of get people in place and stuff like that. And I think 2020 might be it. And now that I'm telling you, because I haven't told anybody, it might have to happen, right?
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. So about 6 years ago, I wanted to do kind of like a yoga themed conference with like classes and companies and stuff like that. But now I kind of want to gear it more towards business and parents and kind of that cohesive, how do you make that all work? Especially if you're working as a family. So we'll see. I don't know. 2020, probably end of summer or so. I haven't really started working on it. I've just kind of been thinking about it the last month or so. So that's a huge one.
Sounds exciting too.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, let us know.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll have to. You'll be checking in with me. Hey, did you even start? Yes. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that should do it for us, unless you
Okay.
have anything else you want to
No,
say.
no.
Yeah. Thanks again, and I hope you'll come back again
Yeah, absolutely. If
sometime.
you'll have me, thank you
Yes,
so much. It's been
of
fun.
course. This was a pleasure. So thank you, Ayami, and talk soon.
Thank you.